we live in a very disruptive time, and the first question is, da li neko ima problema sa nečim što bi mogli nazvati Adria language? Ako...
Let's do English if you don't mind. Yeah, let's do English.
Okay. Huh? Okay, then we will stay in something outside of Adria region and pretend that the English is something what is better to communicate here than Adria language. We have great honor today to discuss something about how to stay relevant to consumer in this very interesting time. Yeah, we live in very interesting time. But at the beginning, I will ask Aco from PwC to show the newest data, how the behavior of consumers will change in 2023 to better understand to whom we need to adjust or adapt our business model, our services, or our products. Yeah, please, Aco.
Thank you. Thanks, Zvonimir. So, yeah, we're just going to have a brief look on what is the customer behavior that is expected in 2023. Each year, we take a look at our customers throughout the world in order to predict what and how, in fact, will they behave in the following period. So I will just put a bit of a clip, it's 1 minute, so we can take a look at it.
Consumers want most? Less friction in their shopping experiences. That's a key finding of our Global Consumer Insights survey. Customers are more demanding and increasingly cost-conscious, but they're also eager to explore and experiment. Looking ahead, companies must not only respond to consumers' evolving attitudes, actions, and aspirations, but also invest in the digital transformation they're embracing. Virtually all consumers report they're likely to become more conservative in their spending in the coming months. Almost half prefer shopping in stores. Almost half say they'll increase online shopping in the coming months. Close to 1/3 say they most value knowledgeable and helpful sales associates. So how can you deliver less friction to your customers? Focus on making life easier for your customers. Help them save time and money, and give them new, exciting digital experiences, no matter where or how they shop. In the year ahead, consumers are likely to choose online or in-store shopping based on where and how they can get the best experience, whether that is achieved by in-store technology or improved delivery times and costs for online orders. Are you prepared for the future of frictionless retail? Learn more in our full survey report.
So just a quick glimpse on the key findings of this. So the inflation that is currently undergoing, as well as the macroeconomic situation, are impacting our customers, as well as they're really impacting on what and how are they going to spend. So 2/3 of them have said, look, we have kind of stopped or we have reduced the buying of what is non-essential goods. But what is more important in the forthcoming period, it is nearly everybody has answered, they will decrease shopping of non-essential products. And when they shop, they also have evidence, our customers have evidence, nearly every 1/5 of them, that products are lacking, and that is due to the supply chain challenges that we face. And so where do they plan to shop? They will continue the brick and mortar shopping, but on the other hand, it is 43% that say they will increase online shopping, and that will seem to kind of, wow, that is very optimistic. But in fact, this is a bit of a pessimistic, just because the previous years, when these same questions were asked, it was said more than 50% was said we will increase online shopping in the forthcoming period. And this is the first time that it was below 50%. And when it comes to the in-store shopping, yeah, they appreciate what is to them a user experience, especially when it comes to contactless experience or a frictionless experience. And what I've also put to you is one point that was not in fact tackled by the video, and that is the metaverse, just because it ain't so much present within our region. But on the other hand, on a global scale, it is something that we should be taking into consideration when it comes to retail. What do our customers expect? You know, what they expect digital, they expect physical and digital experience. Physical experience within the stores enriched with digital experience, as well as, on the other hand, in the online world, in the e-commerce shopping, they expect also physical experience with this. What does this mean? I mean, within the store, personalized shopping, one thing. Second, it is a reduction of the time spent in the store, especially a reduction in time spent when doing at a checkout. Within the online world, within the e-commerce, it is the simulation of the physical experience when shopping through virtual reality. How have we found this out? I'm just going to briefly go through this. It is when we ask them, okay, what is key to your experience when you shop? And it is, the first, it is pleasant and informed environment and the shop's assistant. But what is key to digital experience? It is the self-service checkout. It is the possibility to use the applications within the stores. It is click and collect. It is scan and get out of the store. It is those kinds of services that will enrich the current physical experience with a digital one. And as well, on the other hand, within the e-commerce world, what is important to them, it is that, you know, after COVID, they've been missing, the customers have been missing the physical shopping, and they are, in a way, enjoying it. There is also another segment which is important to the e-commerce, and that is delivery times bother them, cost of delivery bother them, and the availability of products too. So, in a nutshell, it is the physical, and there's a blend of physical and digital experience, which we do find that we should be focusing in a long run in order, you know, the retailers to win the game. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for this intro. Jovana, you are Vice President for Customer Experience in a company from this region who offer the services worldwide, globally, yeah? And can we agree that there is no local business?
Definitely, yes. First of all, I would like to just thank everybody for being here. This is my second time at Adria Summit, so I'm happy to be here. Hopefully next time there will be another woman on this panel, so I won't be the only one. As for the question, yeah, I could agree that definitely digital world is all global. There is no kind of a local customer. You could, because the technology behind the digital world is definitely enables you to reach everyone everywhere. So you don't really have the need to focus only on the local market. And the customers have the option to search for whatever they need globally. They don't really need to go, even if it's not an online product, even if it's a physical product, they can order it somewhere from around the world. So for software companies especially, they don't really have any interest in focusing specifically on the local market. They are able to reach customers everywhere, and especially if they're in software industry, software as service, then you can have a self-service. Somebody could subscribe to your application to whatever product you are actively selling, and you don't have really the need to actively sell to people, go door to door.
As someone who is responsible for customer experience, Do you recognize the differences in this experience from customer in different regions? For example, this region, other part of Europe or United States, or
Yeah.
and what is differences?
There are some differences in terms of their expectations, like different buying personas, like the different habits that they have, like different experiences that they really want, but it's all coming together. It's kind of becoming centralized because all of the other apps are still global and their habits are kind of equals out eventually, it balances out. For us, we mostly have customers from USA, Canada, Australia, UK. We do have customers from this region, from Serbia, but they never reach to us because we are like popular in Serbia or anything. We are not, like we're, if not, we are more popular worldwide than in this region. They still, the customers that actually use us from this region, they are also IT customers, like IT businesses and customers that actually do business globally, not locally.
Okay, what if we agree that there is no local business, that business should be the global or not survive? What is with customer? Do we have the local customer? Because especially not only in software, then in real life, in FMCG, you can buy something from the shop nearby, or you can buy something on some web shop and order from, I don't know, India or China, yeah?
I think that also depends on from which perspective you look at it. If you look at from the customer's perspective, they're all about the experience. If it's more convenient for me to order from Amazon and get it in 2 days, I'll do that. I won't wait for a package from other part of, I don't know, Serbia and deal with shipment or whatever. I'll do what's more convenient for me. So I think the customer doesn't really think about, oh, if it's global or if it's local, let's support local or something like that. Customer cares about the convenience for themselves, and this is what the difference is. Like, they will choose what's better for them, what serves their need better, and that's why other businesses try to appeal to that type of customer.
Branislav, everyone today is trying to find a solution how to adjust the business model, and that's something what will save everything is digital transformation. But from your opinion, is digital transformation enough? Or it's the vaccine who will save all the businesses?
Save the world.
Yeah, no, not the world, the businesses, and if business will
all
save.
the business world.
Yeah, first business. Yeah.
The good thing is we started properly discussing from the customer side. So that's one thing that you have to take into account. But before we go into that, just let's look at one precondition for all of this, yes? We live today between two worlds. Let me just, you have to help me a little bit. How many of you, when they wake up, how many of you first take their mobile phone and start looking at messages? Wow, quite a lot. How many of you are doing some physical activity or, oh, there are, okay, certain number of people. You see?
Also.
But even these who are doing it for...
Physical activities excluding lifting.
So, but even the people who are doing it first physical activities, after that take their phone and look at the messages and everything else. So, now we live between these two worlds. Sorry? Between these two worlds, physical and digital. And we are all the time between these two worlds. Okay? We jump from it. After you finish with your messaging, then you take a shower and then eat your breakfast, and then you look at the weather forecast and the traffic forecast and where are the congestions in the city, how you will drive to where you have to go. And then you come back again to the other side. You know, the thing is that in average in the world, it doesn't matter if this is correct, but some analyses are saying 7 hours a day people are on the internet. Average worldwide. Philippines, 11 hours a day. Some of them are 85% with the mobile. So we have to understand this too. But what are these two worlds? What is the difference between physical and digital? Okay? When you are doing your digital thing, when you are looking at your messages, sending your messages or videos or whatever you are looking, it is 100% only software and only data. And everybody knows that. But nobody's thinking about that when you are talking about digital transformation. This is the key factor. This is what they call digital mindset. There are many definitions of digital mindset, but digital mindset means that you understand differences between these two worlds and you understand how to create value in this other world. The promise, if you make it correctly, your digital transformation of whatever, is that you will become one of these, because most valuable companies in the world are in the digital business model. Most valuable companies in the world are using maybe a little bit hybrid model, but mainly digital model. But, and now Jovana is here as a good example, 90% of the startups are not surviving 5 years. 90%. Between 70 and 95% of digital transformations are not reaching the goals. So it is the huge promise that you will get the benefit, a huge benefit. But it's not like one pill for everything. If they will just give us, I will show you that, we can look at digital vs digital. This is my friend Peter Ramsey from United Kingdom. And what he is doing, he opened the account in 12 banks in United Kingdom online, okay? And he analyzed that. In Revolut, he had to do 24 clicks to open his account. In First Direct Bank, 120 clicks. These are both digital transformation, what you ask, Zvonimir. These are both digital. They did probably First Direct probably spend more money than Revolut for developing this. Yeah? But is that digital? Oh, they don't understand. They don't have digital mindset. They don't understand that this has to be done in digital world, in different world. It has to be virtual. It has to be fast. It has to be differently prepared. Then some of the banks deliver the credit card when you open the account. Some of the banks deliver the debit card in 2 days, and some of them in 36 working days, 18 times longer. That cannot be digital, okay? And as the last, only 4 banks succeeded to fully open their account online. Only 4 banks succeeded to do that. All of the other banks, you have to do something else, to call, to do something else. And these are all digital, and all the digital transformation. So it's not easy.
What is correlation between this stage of the digitalization in operation in banks and success of these banks? Because we faced that some very traditional banks bankrupts, and also some very digital banks also bankrupts recently.
This is a pretty big discussion about that. We would have to explain a lot more. You know, traditional banks, they have high profit. They have what is called many customers with primary account. That means they are spending the money there for all of the transactions, for everything else. The only reason, or the main reason, can be if I give you as a bank mortgage, you will be, then I can push you, I can pressure you to move your account to my bank, and then I will have a benefit from you. Benefit from primary account and secondary account difference is huge, yes? So traditional banks still have a lot of things which are protecting them from attacks. From the new neobanks are very, very For them, it's very, very difficult to come to profitability because they are opening free of charge accounts to get the customer. So it is really a lot of factors which are doing that. But to answer your question, yes, it's a vaccine. There is a vaccine, yeah? There is a vaccine, but it's not easy to find the right one. It's not, and it's not easy to swallow it.
Okay. Erich, you came from totally different type of business. Some data show that at the beginning of COVID crisis, more than 1.5 million containers were on wrong places. And my takeaways is that you can switch on or disrupt or shut down the supply chain immediately, but it takes 2 years to recover, not on level on 100%. What is from your perspective, how this will go ahead, especially how you can use in most of us, I think, that don't understand how this function with containers and ships and so on, how you can improve your business operation with digitalization.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you very much for inviting me at this panel. We are very physical, okay? Unfortunately, we're still not digital, okay? Our industry is, last year I said
there is no 3D printer to deliver the container.
No, unfortunately not. Unfortunately not.
Still.
Last year I said, and everybody was laughing, I said we are one of the oldest, we are not the oldest industry, but we are one of the oldest industries. Okay, so, and we are still very physical. You know, last year 2 years ago, we faced a stop in a global economy. You know, we have all this digital world, you know, everything is moving digitally, but then you have one sailor in Egypt stopped the global trade. So a guy that maybe makes $500 a month made a wrong choice and stopped the global economy. So we're still very physical, so we need physical things. And we represent that physical part of the supply chain. But it's changing. Our world is changing, our industry is changing, and it's changing very, very fast. I always say that I'm feeling like a successful travel agency in 1999. There are no travel agencies anymore. I think, I don't know if you remember travel agencies. So who's going to a travel agency now to book a hotel, an airplane ticket? So our industry is changing, and we will need very soon, and we are already working on it, but it's really complicated, to have digital platforms that control the whole supply chain and give to our customers the supply chain visibility. And a very high automatization, especially in the information, good and bad. So if you have a supply chain disruption, you have to know it, and you have to know it immediately. Okay, so, and in our physical world, we still rely on our colleagues that tend not to give bad news. So you always tend not to give bad news to your customer. You try somehow to adjust or to adapt, and then try to solve it at the end of the journey of the container. You know, so what we need to do is to digitalize the whole process, and it's not easy because we are, as I said, we are very physical. So our customers, they place orders, I don't know, in Vietnam or in China, in very remote, maybe, locations. So we need to give them the right information, whether their cargo was picked up in some location in Vietnam, and when this cargo is going to be delivered to their warehouse in Belgrade or in Zagreb, or maybe to their final customer in Belgrade or Zagreb. So what we need to do now, and our physical industry was not really keen on that, we need to understand the needs of the customers of our customers. So now we are going very deeply into it. You know? Why? If you are, let's say, an online shop, if you have a disruption in your supply chain, so if you deliver with some delay, there's a very high risk that this customer is going to change you. So it's the supply chain is very, very important. And what we are going to face in a few years from now, our customers will be all these people that finished their studies during COVID. You know, the people that have a very high digital education. They work on apps. Last year, a friend of mine here, she said, you know, I have a teenager girl. She does not know in her iPhone where you set up the wake up. I said, how come? She uses Siri. She uses Siri. So, so our customers in the future will be very digitalized. So, and you know, they are not really looking forward to talk to some guy, hey, where is my truck? Or did we custom cleared up my goods? Are my goods being delivered? No, they will, the customer experience will be, is my container arriving when it's arriving? As they order their sandwiches on Glovo or Volt, they will expect the same service from my company. You know? So this is changing completely. And for somebody like me, my family is in this business since 1936, and we had until 2010, we had in our company registration in Italy, we had transport by horse traction. Okay, so we started with horses, you know. So I'm feeling like that. My great-grandfather, where he had to change horses to trucks. So now we will change very soon our physical industry to something digital. So we will have all the links of the chain still physical inside, but in a digital environment. And this will be very important for our customers and for their customer experience.
Okay, thank you, Jovana. Artificial intelligence is live, yeah, now. How is your prediction that this will affect it or influence on your business and on customer experience of your customer?
Well, there's a lot of discussion regarding artificial intelligence. There are a lot of discussion of positive and negative impact. I think that positive is pretty much clear on how it will benefit the customer and the software development industry as well. Regarding the negative impacts, that's a bit tricky one. I would point out probably two main negative impacts. One is for the IT industry particularly. The first one may be in general, and that's how AI will impact the nature of competition. So AI basically works by combining large data sets with algorithms that are processing, and they learn from patterns and features from the data they analyze. So now you have a rapid development of those AI models, and you have rapid development of software tools on top of that AI, already ready-made AI models. And essentially, they all use the same data, so there's no real competitive advantage there. And this can lead to two things. One is you can have the saturated market, where you have a lot of software tools made. And there's a question, is really more software tools better or less is better? And the other thing is that the real battle or the real arms race will happen around training those models to serve some specific use case. So whoever gets, and you need to have like particular set of data for that. You have to have some exclusive data for that, and companies will fight for it. So now you have some issues already going on. You could have privacy or security issues coming along. Whoever has the access to this exclusive data where your competitors don't have, they'll have the edge. They'll be able to train their models to get some different unique output. And they'll have that quote unquote unfair advantage. And if you want to survive that, if you want to stay competitive in that for your customers, then you'll have to position your company to be able to collect and to use that data, whether you're going to be compliant with the law and regulations that are still not even there, or you should even improve your technology to be able to collect and use that data. That's the first main impact for the software industry, generally for the IT, but also probably other industries that are going into AI stuff. But for software industry in particular, the other main impact would be on the pricing model, and this will also affect the customer experience as well, because in traditional B2B software as service industry, you have a pricing model for user-based. It's user-based. Basically, the more users you have on the account, the more revenue you will be able to generate. And this means that if you go into AI, you will eventually streamline the workflow for your end user, and you will automate tasks for them. But essentially, this means that you will the fewer people will actually need your product because you automated a lot of things with the AI capabilities. And while this may be excellent for your customers, for their end user experience, and even you can save them money, essentially you are working against your own pricing model because you're charging per user. So companies will have to quickly adjust and change their pricing models from per user based to something different, like outcome or value based pricing. For example, that could be related to the product usages on its own, or if you have a sales or marketing platform, then you could charge by leads or conversions rated. But this is a difficult challenge to overcome, switching that quickly, and it will definitely impact the customer experience.
Is artificial intelligence will help your company to be better, or?
It definitely helps everyone to be better, but it's a tool. Artificial intelligence is not some dream come true. It's a tool. You can use the tool for good. You can use the tool for something not so good. And that's a part of the negative impacts. You can use AI for accelerated hacking, for privacy violations and stuff like that. So it all depends on how you use the tool for yourself and for your business.
Thank you. Erich, you raise importance of data. You also discuss about data, especially in fast-moving consumer goods. Retailers, suppliers, producers want to collect as much as they can data about customers. How important this data is for changing or adapting or adjusting the business model in retail? You showed how the behavior of consumer will change, but how the retailers can use this data, a huge amount of data collected from customers to adapt or adjust the business model in 2023 or in future.
Or even beyond.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say anything new, but the data is a new oil. And especially both in the B2B and both in the B2C, we're dealing with a large number of customers that generate a lot of data. So I would rather say the data is underutilized, which leaves a strong space for both players to utilize that data. And what I mean by utilizing it, I would just make a bit of a connection let's say to my intro within this panel. Just because our customers are going to spend less, but there has been an inflation. And in a long run, that has impacted the retailers, we've been evidencing the revenue to grow. But on the other hand, the second challenge is the supply chain, which impacts the bottom line and that it impacts the costs. So in that perspective, the supply chain costs go up and energy costs go up. Energy is about 15% in retailers in the gross margin, 40% in producers in gross margin. And then you ask yourself, okay, how are we going to win the game? We're going to win the game by providing this digital experience. But what does that going to do to us? It is, in fact, retailers are going to have to collect quite a lot of data. And that data can be utilized on few purposes. First, in terms of the assortment, and that is the data can help them see what the customers are buying, which price should be put on shelf, and what is the price positioning to be done. Second, based on that, they can predict the supply chain, and that is they can in fact predict and do the stock management. And third, in the long run, even data enables you also to take a look at your processes and to take a look at how it can.
This is theoretically. Are you aware about this, or your company, how the retailers and producers in other region use this data to adjust the business model, to reshuffling the assortment in some retail stores, to adjust the prices? Okay, we are in period of inflation where you can put as much as you want, increase the prices, or how producer also make hygiene of assortment, and they kill some part of assortment because data show that I don't know, this water is not enough revenue.
Well, in fact, what data can help you in taking a look at the assortment, in sorting the assortment, it can even help you about 3 to 5% on the top line. Just because people will have less money, in fact, the inflation will cause this non-essential buying to be decreased. Thus, we will have to be more focused on what the assortment is, what is going to be offered. Because other than that, then we will have stockouts, and then we will have also problem in the warehouse. And I'll give you a first-hand experience. And prior to PwC, I was with NALT, which is the largest, one of the largest regional distribution and logistic company. And it is a B2B business. And in a B2B business, you say, okay, we don't have quite a lot of customers. That's ain't correct. It's quite a large retail outlet space in the Western Balkans. And that is by utilizing the data on which customer and then which outlet store buys which products, you can help them build the assortment. You can help them what products to put in their store. And you can really, with this, help them which products to be put on shelf.
Yeah, okay, if you are correct and right, and if we have a huge amount of this big data, why still the companies burn so much money on advertising, generally? Oh yeah, okay, not on TV or press, or now it's fancy to burn money in digital network, social network, but still the marketing budget is something what Ford told that half of them is, yeah?
Well, like,
You know your customer. Okay, in B2B is different, but in FMCG, you know me. Yeah? I'm buying in some shop. I'm buying some products. Why still producer and retailer send general message on ATL?
well, the thing is, that the marketing campaigns help you to grow the top line. And in the future,
Is it true?
Well, they help you to grow top line. But in fact, we should be focusing on the bottom line.
But digital and digital, that's what we discussed. These are two digital. There are companies which are not advertising. Jovana is not advertising.
Yeah, Jovana is in B2B, yeah?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, even in B2C, there are companies that are using the data.
I cannot mention it because nobody speaks about money.
About money.
Right?
It's 5 million customers
Right.
for $25 million. That means $5 per customer revenue. This is true. Where is the business model of such business?
Why there is,
Jovana.
why that's a question? Why that's a question for you? But why is that question for you? $5 with a billion people is a lot of money.
5 million users, $5 per person. Where is here
The question is how much it costs to sell to these $5. If you get $1 cost, you will be $4
How
better.
much is gross margin?
invest $2 or $3 in marketing and you can earn $5,000?
Or
Yeah.
not, or you can burn money on advertising, and that wouldn't work.
That's a good point,
Yeah.
you know, about that's
May-
digital and
Yeah,
digital.
maybe Jovana can explain
Yeah,
what is the business
well-
model in cake. Huh?
Yeah, definitely what I was talking about, the pricing, that it is per user. So if you have like 5 million users times $5, it's a lot of money. And if you have low cost for developing, all right, maybe. However, you don't really need to, like, we didn't need to advertise, like we didn't need to spend and burn money on advertising, because the tool itself it found its market. Like
It's
had,
word of mouth. Yeah.
it started with that. We developed the tool because we needed it, and we found a lot of other people that also needed it. So it worked. We
But
recently
you have
just started
5 million,
advertising.
Customer times $5, yeah. And
That was for the
and
lowest plan.
your valuation is above 1 billion, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That the question to Bora. How is possible that this is something I'm from real business, from FMCG, and in my business the multiple is below 10. When the Ledo was sold and the multiple went up to 13, this was something spectacular. Yeah?
Spectacular.
And the question is, how is possible that Volkswagen, it's valued on, I don't know, 7 times EBITDA, or cash flow plus something, plus minus debt plus cash plus, yeah? And Tesla is 1 times, I don't know, 137 billion, yeah?
Yeah. Can you put a slide on, please, the next slide? Thank you. Next slide. Let's try to answer that question and to try to see these differences. And this is, we are coming back to the same question, digital and digital, two worlds. But let's
Or
go
where
forward.
is value? Where is value?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
the value came?
We will come to the value. So number one is...
maybe just, we discussed about B2B, we discussed about end user or customer. Also, there is a B2B customer or consumer. Can we agree also that investors somehow is customer because they buy shares or equities? Yeah.
Sure.
And how the companies create, how to stay relevant in this relationship between the issuer and the investors.
Let's look at this. First of all, this is not a very new slide, but nevertheless, the S&P 500 companies and all of the companies, including Jovana's company, has different values. And FMCG and these are tangible assets. And it is very difficult to increase very fast the business of the company that is working with tangible assets. And that's why they now value much more and intangible assets. And they have the intangible assets. So this is the promise for these 10% startups, and for why they are so valuable, because they can do exponential growth. You know, Jack Ma from Alibaba was talking to the Walmart vice president, and there is a video on YouTube, you can see it, it's wonderful. He's saying, we will be, in 10 years, we will be bigger than Walmart. Maybe, he said, Jack Ma. And the vice president from Walmart was laughing. And Jack Ma said, yes, because in order that you get 10,000 customers, you have to build shop, storage, buy the goods, and everything else. You know what does it mean for Alibaba? 2 servers. 2 servers. And what is the point? Not only 2 servers, but these 2 servers can be in the cloud, that can be borrowed by somebody else. So what's up? What's up? had, when they were sold to Facebook, to Meta, they had 700 million customers, 20 engineers and 30 additional employees, 50 altogether. 700 million customers. They didn't have EBITDA. They didn't have any other value, but they had 700 million customers and their data. And that's, we are coming back to data. Data is very valuable. You're talking about Tesla. Let me tell you about Tesla. Tesla has the data about all of the drivers for the last 10 years, for all of the cars. Now they announced in beta testing, they announced insurance. They are going into the insurance. And you know how they are insuring? Only on the monthly basis. In this monthly basis, they are looking at how did you drive previous month? And they look at 5 things. Number 1 thing is how often you were hard braking. Second thing is how often you were turning the car very strongly, you know. Number 3 is how close you are coming to the car in front of you, and things like that. And they say if you go over the average, you will pay more. If you go under the average, you will pay less. So they are helping the community, they are helping all of us, they are helping saving the nature, they are helping everything, and they are going into the insurance because they have the data. And data is very useful. That's called smart business. You can use data a lot. And Jovana is saying is also artificial intelligence will be dependent on the data. Huge dependence on the data. And what artificial intelligence is using today in average, ChatGPT, is internet data. Are all of the information that is on internet correct, or they are false, or they are wrong, or they are, if you look now in the world, there are a lot of media are producing a lot of data which is not right. Okay? The exclusive and the only good thing will be if our company has some data that can be used in a proper way. And then they will charge, and then the value will be much higher than your FMCG. And then, as we said, if you have 1 billion customers, that's a huge value. And this is changing every day. And we see that today, last year, previous year, all of the interest rate was low. The capital was cheap. Everybody was investing in startups and they were booming and everything. Now it goes down. If you look, the neobanks and fintechs, you ask for it, were almost catching up with the top 100 banks, and top 100 fintechs were coming closer with the valuation. Now it went down because the interest rate capital is more expensive. People don't want to invest. Our risk is now important, and they go down with the investments. And that's why, and this is why the valuation changes, the way how we calculate, the way how we invest changes, shareholders are different.
But all of the valuations have also decreased now.
Not some of the banks were increased because who has the profitability.
But this is a great question, because for the last 50 years we have a really low interest rates.
Yes.
Where money lost the value.
Correct.
So investors, they didn't have chance to put it in the banks to invest in real
Correct.
economy. And we have quantitative easing, which is for 15 years, even for 18 years, we're pumping up huge amount of money entering not in the real sector, but enter more in, let's say, digital sector. Tesla today would not exist without cheap money for last 15 years.
Correct.
Would not be able to get those level of investments without 15 years of cheap money on the market.
They are looking for profitability even for startups now. They will not invest without profitability.
And simply because the money that didn't have any value for the last 15 years, basically it was thrown up
Correct.
into a lot of startups. This is what is really the risk of the place. You need to make a profitable business. Even startups, it has to have a viable model. Sorry, but that doesn't make any profit.
Yeah, to go back to physical business, after the supply chain was broken, yeah, still not recovered. We faced with just the business model that many of companies change this outsourcing or offsourcing to insourcing, nearsourcing, friend sourcing, something that the production or the activities return back to headquarters or in countries in region there where they operate. How this will affect your business and the global business in logistics?
Obviously, so you have to be flexible, but it's not that easy to change from day one to day two your sources. Okay, so we saw Apple changing from China to India for iPhone, their bestseller. But it's not that easy, So, but what is required by us is so to be very flexible. So we have to listen to our customers and see what are their problems, to understand the problems, as I said before, the needs of the customers of our customers' customers. So this is very important for us. And, there are also some geostrategical and geopolitical questions, So what's going to happen tomorrow with Ukraine? What's going to happen tomorrow with Taiwan, if something happens there? So what's going to happen with the supply chain? If there are going to be some sanctions against China, so are we all going to move to India or to Vietnam? It's a lot of flexibilities required nowadays. As I said before, we were very physical and very tight in our behavior. Now we have to be much more.
From experience from the COVID crisis, what is your opinion? Can we survive next the supply chain disruption in total? It is possible, yeah?
Yeah.
Or we are now more resilient and then prepared for this?
It was a fantastic COVID for us, for our industry, was a fantastic experience. So it cleaned a lot the market. So you see who is really a player. In terms of revenues, was very good for the transportation industry. So it was let's say it changed. It speeded up a lot of processes. So we would be much less digital today, my industry, if we didn't have COVID. So COVID speeded up. So working from home speeded up a lot of processes. That were unthinkable some years ago. China digitalized completely their custom procedure. In China, you don't have any more custom forwarding, this Speditia, how we call it. What they do, they have a portal, which is a government portal. So you are importer or exporter. You just send your invoice to this portal, and they say you have to pay this custom, and you pay the custom, that's it. So you don't need to have anymore the guy that you call, and somebody physical goes to the custom office, puts a stamp, which is still in Germany, in Serbia, in Bosnia, is always the same. So the procedure is always the same. Somewhere is more digital, somewhere less, but China completely digitalized this during COVID. So for our industry, I repeat, was good. We understood the importance of data. What we were mentioning. For us now, data is very important. I will mention just, imagine we're handling approximately 200,000 containers a year between Koper, Rijeka, and all these countries. All these 200,000 containers, they contain pieces of something. Yeah. So, they are end consumers at the end. But I know the whole history of this container. So from the moment you place your order until the goods are delivered to your customers, I have the whole process in my systems. So I know where you bought it, from whom you bought it, how you paid it, because I see LCs. I see which bank are you using. I see how much you paid, and I see how much you sold.
Do you use now this data to tailor it, the service for specific customer?
Absolutely. So you, we will have a lot of metrics in the future. So we will help our customers to do better. So there is no space for us in our industry to evolve. So one container from Shanghai to Rijeka, let's say, or Koper, we are sailing. So myself or our competitors, we are between 30, 32 days. We cannot speed up the ships to come in 10 days. That's it. But what we can do is, let's say, work on the customer enablement. So not just the customer satisfaction, what was Asa was mentioning. So you deliver your goods to your just to the shop, but we will have to help our customer to do better with his customers. So to have a customer enablement. And that's where we can grow. So there is a space for growth in our industry.
Okay, thank you very much. We have 1 minute for question or statement or opinion from the audience, if any. Yeah, anyone? No?
Thank you very much.
There is not that. Thank you for great opinion and experience sharing with the audience, our customers. I hope that we were relevant to our customers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now it's